Some coins don't just represent history, they are history. From the ancient Mediterranean to the far edges of forgotten empires. These are the standout ancient highlights from Heritage's New York International Numismatics Convention sale. Struck at Syracuse under Dionysius I, this remarkable Sicilian gold issue pairs myth with message. On the obverse, Heracles grapples with the Nemean lion, the first of his legendary labors, an unbeatable beast subdued only by sheer strength and resolve. To contemporary eyes, the image would have carried deeper meanings still though. Syracuse was here cast as Heracles, Carthage as the lion, locked in a brutal struggle for Sicily, fresh from the decisive victory in 396 BCE. Dionysius used this powerful image to celebrate survival, dominance, and divine favor. Graded as a choice mint state, it was sold at auction for $112,850. This superb gem aureus represents Crispina at the very height of her brief and tragic prominence. Married at just 16 to Commodus, she was elevated to Augusta but never produced an heir. An absence of that helped to fuel palace intrigue and paranoia. Falsely accused of adultery, Crispina was exiled to Capri and then executed in the year 191. The irony of the situation is sharp though, as Commodus himself would be assassinated the very next year. Graded as a flawless gem mint state, this aureus captures the serene public image of an empress whose private fate was anything but, and achieved $122,000 at auction. This lifetime gold stater of Ptolemy I is a pure dynastic messaging in metal. The obverse names Ptolemy as king, while the reverse shows Alexander the Great deified, towering in an elephant quadriga, thunderbolt in hand. Though once mistaken for Zeus, this youthful bearded face confirms Alexander himself. The symbolism is very deliberate. Ptolemy famously seized Alexander's body and brought it to Egypt, anchoring his own rule to the conqueror's divine legacy. Slapped by NGC Ancients as choice uncirculated, it was sold at auction for $146,400. This first issue aureus of Caligula was struck at Lugdunum in the year 37, at the very start of his reign. The youthful portrait contrasts sharply with the chaos that was to come. Born as Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, Caligula rose to power amid immense public hope, trading on the legacy of his father Germanicus. The reverse honors his great-grandfather Augustus, shown here as deified and flanked by stars. Within 3 years, Caligula's extravagance, cruelty, and demand for divine worship had led to his assassination in the year 41. This aureus presents the calm, almost idealized image of a ruler whose reign would become infamous. Graded as extremely fine by NGC Ancients, it was sold at auction for $176,900. The superb aureus of Aelius Caesar captures a successor who never actually ruled much of anything. Born as Lucius Caeonius Commodus, Aelius was unexpectedly adopted by Hadrian in the year 136, and then elevated as heir to the empire. His rise was swift, but his health was fragile in equal measure. When he was sent to govern Pannonia, he returned gravely ill and succumbed to that illness on January the 1st, 138, prompting Hadrian's grim remark that he had leaned against a tottering wall. This aureus preserves the image of a doomed prince whose elegant portrait set the visual tone for the Antonine age that was to follow, and this choice mint state survivor was sold at auction for a healthy $213,500. This 2,400-year-old gold stater from the Greek city of Lampsacus in the kingdom of Mysia captures myth in motion. It depicts the hunter Actaeon at the exact moment of his punishment. In Greek mythology, Actaeon accidentally came upon Artemis while she was bathing in a secluded stream. For that transgression, she transformed him into a stag, stripping him of speech and identity before his own hunting dogs turned on him. The emerging antlers that are seen above his eyebrow freeze that exact instant of metamorphosis, making this one of the most powerful narrative images ever struck in ancient gold. NGC Ancients graded this coin as mint state star, and it sold for $237,900 at auction. This gold die stater of Alexander the Great comes from the very moment that his conquests reshaped the ancient economy. Struck during his lifetime, from around 330-ish BCE, it reflects the flood of bullion seized from Persia, a wealth so vast that entire new denominations had to be invented. Tariffed at 2 staters, this die stater represents immense purchasing power and was likely used to pay veteran soldiers of the Macedonian kingdom. Most circulated heavily. This surviving example did not. Slabbed by NGC Ancients as mint state star, the auctioneer's gavel fell on $292,800. This aureus of Manlia Scantia survives from one of Rome's most chaotic moments, the year of the 5 emperors. Elevated to Augusta after her husband, Didius Julianus, bought the imperial title at auction from the Praetorian Guard. Her reign lasted barely 9 weeks before his overthrow and execution. Little is known about her life, but her coins endured as a rare witness to that instability. This choice AU example stands as the finest certified, preserving the fleeting image of an empress whose power vanished almost as soon as it appeared. Sold at auction for $292,800. This gem gold stater of Croesus represents the crucial moment at the very birth of coinage itself. Struck in the Lydian kingdom under Croesus around the year 550 BCE to the heavy standard. It bridges the gap between the earliest experimental prototypes and the fully standardized gold issues that were to follow, sharing its reverse punches with the known prototype status, yet bearing a regular issue obverse. This piece is a true missing link coin, presented here in gem mint state. It stands as a foundational artifact for the dawn of money itself, and sold for $536,800 at auction. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch another video about ancient coins right here next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.